No, she's sick. She's online. And Ted is online.
You win the prize for the longest taking up of the
It's a very active, thoughtful committee.
We think that jobs and economic development is the most important thing, okay? Have a problem with that?
Remember the song, money makes the world go round.
Probably because.
There you go. Thank you. All right. Let's start the meeting of Friday, September 12th of the Jobs Committee. The time is 10:42. Could we roll call?
Here.
Doherty. Hennessis,
Hennis is here.
Strathman,
Strathman here.
Young,
Here.
Allen,
Ellen present.
We have a quorum. That's good. Remote attendance, Mr. Penesis has asked if he could be remote, and also Ms. Strathman. Both of them have illness. Okay, wonderful. I need approval of the minutes from August 15th.
Make a motion for unanimous consent.
Any objections, any changes? Okay, so be it. Mr. Public Comment. David Young.
David Young, March 27th, 2023, 28-year-old Aiden Hale, born Audrey Elizabeth Hale, killed 3 9-year-old children and 3 adults before being fatally shot by responding police officers. She was a transgender that identified as a man and a former student of the school. The victims were Evelyn Dykehouse, William Kinney, 9, Hale Scruggs, 9, Cynthia Peak, 61, Mike Hill, 61, Catherine Kuntz, 60. Authorities later found that Hale had planned the attack in advance, leaving behind a manifesto and detailed maps of the school. The investigation concluded that Hale was motivated by a desire of notoriety and targeted the school specifically because it was Christian. This year, August 27th, 2025, just a couple weeks ago, 23-year-old Robin Westman, born Robert Paul Westman, killed 2 children and injured 15 other children, along with 3 adults. He was a transgender that identified as a woman. His mother was a former employee of Annunciation Catholic Church and School. The victims were Fletcher Merkel, 8, Harper Moisky, 10. Authorities are investigating the shooting as an act of domestic terrorism and a hate crime, particularly targeting Catholics. The writings and videos revealed a desire for notoriety and a fixation on violence against children. The day after, 26-year-old Snehal Srivista, born a biological male, identifies as a two-spirit trans woman and goes by the name Sasha Sakur. He shot and killed Kevin Doherty because Kevin confronted him for spraying graffiti on a nearby bridge. He's now charged with murder. September 10th, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. The killer, they just found him just last hour. It was reported by the Wall Street Journal that the rifle used for the assassination was found. The cartridges were etched with symbols and phrases tied to transgender and Antifa ideology. See, the Democratic Party embraces this group, the LGBTQ plus group. They embrace the culture of death. They embrace evil. No one in the higher up, governor, has taken a stance against this senseless, evil killing. And it has to be called out. Thanks.
You need to sign up ahead of time. All right, moving along, job committee priorities. If it's okay with everybody, I'd like to do C first. No, I'm sorry, wrong. I'd like to do B first. Which is, and I don't know that it's supposed to be a resolution. It's actually a proclamation recognizing October as Manufacturing Month in Kane County. And so do we need to change this to a proclamation, or can I leave it on here as a resolution?
You
or-
can do it. I mean, either one. I mean, you
Okay.
can do it as a resolution.
Okay,
Yes, hi. Yes, it's on. Just, I wanted to share with all of the committees, there has been a lot of pushback during the length of the board meetings because of all the proclamations. So I would like to consider, as much as I support this, absolutely. And I dearly love the proclamations, because it brings community in, that they be handled at committee level. And then when we get to the board meetings, we can say that these have been passed. We can recognize the proclamations, but that will not take up 45 minutes potentially of time. So we can get on to the county business.
Right.
So if you, whatever you feel you'd like to do, recognize it or proclaim it here, and it could be formally done with a.
yeah, no, we're gonna read it here and recognize it here. And I've asked Kathy Gilmore to speak a few minutes afterwards
Okay.
as representative of manufacturing, and we'll take a picture here. Because to your point, we on the other day did not get started on the actual meeting till 11 o'clock because of all that. And it's not fair to anybody involved. And
So we're going to try to make it a little bit more efficient.
If
Some
you
of
do
us
it
are-
as a resolution, it would go to exec and could presumably go on a consent agenda.
Oh,
And-
I understand that, but it'd be nice to have the full recognition with the plaque and a photograph taken.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
all right. So is everybody okay if I switch this?
Yeah.
He's gonna get confused except me?
make it
Okay. Make it so.
We'll remind you.
All right. Then resolution, and I have asked David Young if he would read this because I believe he's the only one that is still young enough to be working in manufacturing.
I'm not that young.
I mean, I did it 42 years and I retired, but I think you're the only one current. So if you would
Okay,
please read
correct.
this,
You,
you're welcome.
David Young. Recognizing October as Manufacturing Month in Kane County. Whereas in October, the International Trade Administration joins with U.S. government and industry partners to celebrate Manufacturing Month and the importance of U.S. manufacturing innovation and ingenuity to our standard of living. U.S. manufacturing is an enduring and ever-evolving sector that contributes $2.9 trillion to the U.S. economy, employs nearly 12.9 American workers, 12.9 million American workers, and accounts for 11% of the nation's GDP. Whereas the Fabricators and Manufacturers Association International, FMA, the National Association of Manufacturers, and the Manufacturing Extension Partnership have designated October 3rd, 2025 as National Manufacturing Day. And whereas manufacturers, educational institutions, and other organizations in Kane County will be hosting events on or around October 3rd, 2025 to showcase the high-skilled and well-paying jobs afforded by a career in manufacturing, to support and promote a positive public image of manufacturing, and to ensure the continued growth of the manufacturing industry. And whereas more than 375 metals and machinery manufacturing firms located in Kane County provide well-paying manufacturing jobs for over 9,500 employees and create broad-based prosperity. And whereas more than 280 food and beverage manufacturing and packaging firms located in Kane County provide well-paying manufacturing jobs for over 13,000 employees and create broad-based prosperity. And whereas Kane County, in partnership with the Illinois Manufacturing Excellence Center, IMAC, has launched 2 Kane County-specific programs, one to improve hiring and talent pipelines at manufacturers, and the Lighthouse Manufacturing Program to help manufacturers with productivity improvements such as automation, upskilling, career pathways, and operational efficiency solutions. And whereas the newly launched Kane County Economic Development Cooperation Public-Private Partnership will fund IMAC to continue the Lighthouse Manufacturing Program started by the Kane County Board and will be a voice for Kane County manufacturers. And whereas Kane County, in partnership with the Greater Chicagoland Economic Partnership, is collaborating with manufacturers, educational institutions, and workforce providers, nonprofits, trade associations, and economic development organizations to support and strengthen the region's manufacturing sector. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Kane County Board hereby resolved to recognize October as Manufacturing Month and encourages all residents, teachers, and students to join in recognizing the important role of manufacturing in our country and to explore careers in manufacturing and related fields.
Okay, thank you very much. I need a motion and a second to pass this.
Alan moves, I'm sorry, Mr.
Okay.
Mr. Young should move.
All right, I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Alan seconds.
Somebody seconds. Okay, perfect. Next, I'd like to ask Kathy Gilmore to come up and just give a brief presentation on manufacturing. For those of you that don't know her, which is all of you probably do, Kathy Gilmore is the president of the Valley Industrial Association, which their office is right down the street from us. And Kathy probably knows every manufacturer in the county, and she's a super good resource. Yes.
We do that vote first.
Yes, let's vote.
I have a comment, please.
Yes.
Thank you. So yeah, the manufacturing sector is so important to maintain and to keep things going and growing. And unfortunately, just due to really things outside of what we have in our power are moving manufacturers out of the state of Illinois. Hopefully that's going to change and turn around, because at one time Illinois was one of the strongest manufacturers, not only for like heavy equipment like Caterpillar, John Deere, but also the OEMs and the machinery manufacturers and the people and the tool and die guys that supported that industry, and all that stuff went away. Again, it's outside of our control. We could talk about that. It's best to talk about that over alcohol, actually, but we won't do that. But there were things outside of our control. So this is extremely important that we keep this going. And I just attended FabTech. FabTech is a show for manufacturing, and it was held in McCormick Place this week.
Mhm.
And it was a huge show, huge success. There were a lot of people there. I was there Monday. So this provides people a really, especially we've talked about this, Anita, where you have kids coming out of high school, they can become machinists, they can become programmers, they could of robotics, they can become tool and die makers. They don't need to spend $100,000, $200,000 going to college or a school like that. They can just go into a trade and make a lot of money in this. And quite honestly, people I call on in this area, they need more people like this.
they do.
So this is important, and thank you.
Yeah, no, it's extremely important. I always tell people there's nothing cooler than making something, putting it all together and seeing a product in the end. Whereas in a lot of jobs, you can't do that and you don't get that fulfillment, but in manufacturing, you do. So we have to vote, and then on to Kathy. I get so excited.
That's why
Would you call
lawyers
the
are
roll, please?
frustrated. We don't create anything. It's chaos.
Bates,
Yes.
Doherty,
Already know.
Hennessis,
Hennessis, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Allen,
Alan, I.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Passes.
Okay, Ms. Gilmore.
Hello. Well, I appreciate all the dialogue around the importance of manufacturing. You know, you're speaking my language. As the president of the Valley Industrial Association right here in Geneva, and also the president of the Greater Chicago Advanced Manufacturing Partnership, known as GCAMP. We are here to support the industry and then also to grow the industry. And so for those of you who don't know anything about Valley Industrial, we are going to be celebrating our 123rd year in business just this November. So it's really exciting times for us. Our staff has grown, I think, over double in the last 2.5 years. And we are here to support the industry. While there is a misconception that all the industry is leaving this state, There is an amazing presence here, and it is definitely one of the top 5 sectors of importance for economic development for the state. The Valley Industrial Association supports manufacturers and other industrial service companies in the way of providing resources and best practices, education and support for their incumbent workforce, and then also connections for growth. And when back in 2021, when we were at a crossroads, because we had so many of our members that were struggling to fill their pipeline of incoming for workforce as the mass exodus of, retirees is looming and happening right now. We decided to move in a very important, intentional way to acquire an associate or another nonprofit that was dedicated to the focus of the career development of the youth. And so GCAMP, that organization, became part of our office in Geneva back in October of 21. GCAMP is a very small group as VIA, but we are growing. And just in the past year, 40% of our events increased, 25% of our programming hours, and 20% students impact has been growing just in the last year. GCAMP is, proud to serve, Kane County because this is the heart of the VIA's member base. When we met GCAMP, it was serving the Golden Corridor area, which is the area from route on I-90 from Chicago to Rockford. Based originally in Hoffman Estates, Elk Grove Village, and Schaumburg, we saw what they were doing to engage the youth, and we wanted to basically duplicate that and grow it here for our member companies in Kane County. We have a presence technically now in 7 counties, but really, I think over 50% of our members come from Kane. We were able to serve the communities of Aurora, Batavia, Burlington, Carpentersville, Elgin, Geneva, Hampshire, Maple Park, South Elgin, Sugar Grove, and West Chicago. While this GCAMP last year served more than 2,500 students, including students, from all those communities below. We conducted 23 manufacturing tours because we have found that the best way to engage the youth in these opportunities for future career development is by getting them inside of a factory, inside of a plant. And there's a lot of misconceptions about what a factory is, but factories are these amazing businesses right here in your community, and they hire it's a world of opportunities there. All of the STEM careers, all of the professional careers, think of, the HR, the marketing, the sales, so I always say, while manufacturing maybe gets credit for 12 to 15% sometimes of the GDP, really it's got an impact, a downstream impact of closer to 30 to 35% when you think of all of the industries that are impacted and all of the professional careers that need the business of manufacturers to thrive. And so last year we did have some really exciting, outstanding recognition for, we always do an award at our Spark Awards, which is our big annual event where we recognize the accomplishments of our member companies. And we had the Outstanding Manufacturing Educator of the Year was Mark Williams from West Aurora High School. And coincidentally, the Outstanding Manufacturing Student of the Year was Alejandro Vasquez, also from West Aurora High School. So we were very excited to shine the light on, and that is really a heart of what we do is these opportunities, really blowing up the marketing and the PR around all the great, exciting roles that are happening in the manufacturing plants. So I just want to thank you for the proclamation. We are a great partner to IMEC. We have definitely a wonderful relationship with them. They constantly are supporting our member companies. The Illinois Manufacturing Association as well. We are considered a member, but a great partner to the IMA. And we love all the things that are happening in this space that are promoting these wonderful careers. So thank you for your time, and we appreciate the support of King County.
May I ask a question of Kathy?
Can I just do one quick
Oh,
housekeeping thing?
absolutely.
Gary Dougherty has joined us. Good morning, Gary. Can we allow him in?
No objection.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
So Kathy, you mentioned BIA is 123 years.
Yes,
So that's 1902.
correct.
The business was windmills.
You're probably in Batavia especially, right? So yeah, we have,
Buggy whips.
there's been a lot of different industries, that have been part of it. And we, in our association, we serve all of the different types of manufacturing. So we have textiles, we have food and beverage manufacturers, we have metals, plastics. You'll see as you go further west into the Chicagoland area, you'll see a much more broader array of the types of manufacturing, but a lot of metalworking, was part of the original group. And we have actually 3 founder members that are still part of us 123 years later.
And who are they?
So Aurora Specialty Textiles, Richard Wilcox, and also Aurora Metals.
And Richard Wilcox makes what kind of product?
Conveyor systems.
Very nice.
So yeah.
That's amazing.
Are those all 3 Aurora companies, by the way?
So technically Aurora Specialty Textiles is located in Yorkville. So they're the only one. Yeah. They're still calling Aurora,
Yes, Ms. Bates.
When I was an acupuncturist, because I've retired, I would have women come to me for acupuncture who were welders. And I'd say, where are you a welder? And of course, it was in many different factories in Aurora and other places. And it was cool that they were welders, that they were women, that there was these manufacturing things happening in Aurora. So it's very cool.
Yeah, we've been trying to change the face of manufacturing to include the broad array of, types of people that are involved in, and definitely getting young women interested into the business is pretty exciting, and it is a priority of ours.
Good, good. Because they're good paying jobs.
Yeah, they really are.
Chris.
First of all, thank you, Kathy. It's always great to have you at Jobs Committee. Just a quick point in your packet on page 8, I did include something from the National Association for Manufacturers that we like to remind everyone that for every manufacturing job, 4.8 jobs are also added to the economy. So just echoing what Kathy was talking about. And my question for you, Kathy, is on October 3rd, can you talk about some of the fun stuff that you guys do for Manufacturing Day?
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, one of the primary tactics, if you will, of getting the youth and the unemployed interested in the careers is just showing them what it looks like inside of a factory, because so many places you drive by every day and you have no concept of all of the world that is in there. And so we bring in those kids into the actually business and to see the heart of it. And we have several different partnerships that we're working on, because as I mentioned, we have members now in 7 counties. And so in Kane County alone, we have 2 really important partnerships. And one of them is with Valleys, which is Cassie Blickham is the director. She works with the 16, I believe, career on tech ed programs within the high school. So she works with the Caneland or the Kane Workforce Development Center there. She works with the Indian Valley, and then she works with the Aurora, East Aurora, West Aurora, Geneva, Batavia, St. Charles. Then goes to the Northern Kane group, which is head by Terry Stroh. So we organize with their partnership, and they're a very strong partner of ours. I think we have 10 different tours scheduled of 10 different high schools within Kane County, just in Cassie's group alone. And then the partnership with Terry Stroh's group for Northern Kane is served hundreds of students last year. And so we will be continuing to partner with them. While we call Manufacturing Day October 3rd, we really use the broad, manufacturing month, because there's way too many activities to happen just on the 3rd. But so we have on Manufacturing Day, numerous tours being planned on October 1st. We have several different other days planned with touring initiatives. Also, the Illinois Manufacturing Association and IMAC have a bus that's traveling all about the area as well, to promote the industry, because marketing and PR is one of the things that really the industry needs the most, just to showcase all the opportunities, since it isn't something that people drive by and see, all the inner workings to understand about the industry. Thank you.
So back when I was young, we always hosted a tour at Henry Pratt, and it was always so cool. We would do Aurora kids primarily, and then we'd get other schools too. But these kids would come and they'd say, wow, we've driven by this place a million times and we didn't know there was anything going on here. And they would love to see the welding and see the manufacturing and stuff. And we did get a lot of kids actually go into the field then after that. So there's nothing like seeing things. And would this committee be interested in going on a
Oh,
a
yes,
tour?
yes.
'Cause I bet you've never really been in a factory.
No, I was in the Caterpillar
Yeah,
factory.
okay.
Those
Worked it.
bulldozers,
Yes.
those machines were
Yeah.
as big as this room, but
Do you think sometime you could arrange that for us?
I would love to.
If we behaved and put
Oh,
the proper attire on?
I'm not concerned. But yeah, I would be honored to organize a tour for your group if you'd be interested.
That'd be wonderful.
So,
Mr.
And
Shepherd,
and publish it as a meeting.
yes. Yes, there you go.
okay, yes, sir.
Mr.
Ready to go on a tour?
Yes, okay.
David Young, so Richards Wilcox, that was one of the companies I met with on Monday
Yeah.
at FabTech. So they were at FabTech.
yeah, they
Actually,
had
I
a
have a
big booth.
potential project there now from my meeting Monday. So it's great that they were there.
Yeah, Wilcox is longstanding.
Yeah, so what they do is they build these conveyors. Think of these conveyors. It almost reminds you of a laundromat where you've got it goes around in circles up and down, except obviously it's not for laundry, it's for huge manufacturing stuff. So up and down around. Pretty cool. That's their main business, but
Okay. Cool. And Mr. Roth?
I was in IT my whole career, but I did over 10 years in manufacturing.
Mhm.
One was a fabrication house up in Libertyville, and I helped that company grow from 10 million to 80 million in 8 years. And then the other one was a shampoo manufacturer downtown Chicago. And they were owned by a Japanese company. And before that, there was an equity firm, and they didn't invest in IT for 8 years. And I came in and did a strategic plan a 5-year plan to get them up to speed. So
That's awesome.
IT is critical with all manufacturing. So I have a
Whatever.
lot of experience in that.
That's awesome.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Can we take a picture with Kathy real quick before she leaves?
Oh, sure, that'd be fun.
No, Kathy doesn't want to. Do I have my phone with me? Do.
We don't have the proclamation. We have some other proclamation. We have another proclamation.
If you have a,
You want all of this?
For that person that
I'm not on the committee. All right.
well, if it's the whole committee, somebody's got to take the picture.
Yeah. Chris.
Oh, okay.
I'll stand up here.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I do have a comment. It's it kind of loose, but it's connected. I have a grandson who is 28, and he has moved through a number of jobs. He's had some college, but education is not really what he wanted to spend time on. So one of the things he said to me that it was really fun to install cell phone towers because you got to climb up on the top of water towers to set up these cell phone towers. And he said, and he said you could see everything. And he loved that. But it was, he wanted to move on. So he did a number of things. And he said he went, someone had recommended that he try an interview that a company was interviewing. And so he said he went how he was like in jeans and a flannel shirt, t-shirt. And he didn't think anything of that. As the interview went on, he realized that he was being asked a higher level of question. And they said, well, we'd like to show you where you would be. And walked him out into a room, he said, where people were in lab coats and hairnets. And he said, and you could eat off the floor. So when he was invited back for the next interview, he came in a suit and tie, of getting the job, and is working for Stryker, which makes medical equipment. He is a liaison between the people who are running the machinery and the engineers who are designing. And the engineers are always hoping to make the equipment work better. And who can tell you how to make the equipment work better than the people actually using the equipment?
Right.
So it's just who knew? So interesting.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities in manufacturing. Before we move on, I just want, Kathy left these for us. It's really interesting because it does show like all the manufacturing groups in the area that are part of VIA, which is everybody, by the way, and a lot of cool stuff. So it's worth gathering and, gandering through later. Moving on, I want to move to C, which is Kane County Economic Development Initiative staff update. And that would be Mr. Chris.
Thank you, Chris Toth speaking. Just two updates for the staff updates today. One is something I passed out, and I will make sure to follow up this with a connecting email after the meeting. But on September 17th in Elgin, our partners at IMEC will be holding the Champions of Workforce Celebration. And it is an event to just highlight all of the great work done being by the Lighthouse Manufacturing Program that was supported by the King County Board through use of our ARPA funds. This initiative has supported 52 manufacturers in driving operational improvements, strengthening their workforce, and building a lasting resilience. This event, they're going to be sharing success stories, highlighting how the grant helped close critical gaps and scale best practices, and recognize the powerful results of collaboration. But what's really great is the impact from this program. 556 jobs retained, 326 jobs projected to be created. 100% of the participating companies reported meaningful process improvements. Every manufacturer adopted new workforce development practices. Many gained access to resources that would have otherwise been cost prohibitive. And over 300 workers were impacted through training and placement opportunities. This program will be from 3 to 5 up in Elgin. It is free, and I'll make sure to send the link out if you're interested in joining IMEC and King County and all the other manufacturing partners.
And I believe that maybe somebody from Kane County will be speaking.
Yeah, somebody will be. Definitely. And I just want to add to that, Chris, thanks for sharing that. And but this is one I know particularly Board Member Young has asked about metrics in the past. And this is really a solid metric that can be attributed to the work of this Jobs Committee. Because years ago, when the Jobs Committee was looking at how they can be most effective, what parts of the economy were not being addressed, particularly by municipalities, it was easy to settle on our manufacturers. And from everything this committee has initiated, from the export grant program to supporting the participation in GSEP and the new Economic Development Corporation, when we had the opportunity to use ARPA dollars to help for the economic recovery, And we proposed the money and the partnership to work with IMEC. This is a direct result of the work of this committee. So I love the metrics now that they're here, Mr. Young, to see how, but what's nice about it is not just a, more ethereal, here's how, a general program in the region or something the state did helped. This is Kane County dollars supporting Kane County companies with these outcomes. So very excited about that and grateful for the board members who supported that ARPA project with IMEC.
Yeah, it's always really good when we as a board, say yes to an investing thing, and then we actually see real tangible results like this, because not everything we do, you can see that, but this is one of them. Just like I said, manufacturing, you can actually touch something in the end. It's cool. All right. You got more.
Thank you. And
Pictures and electronics. Yes.
yes, I'm really excited for this next one. There was an article in the Shaw Local Chronicle back in late August. This is really exciting because this is actually something on our turf in unincorporated King County, but Richardson Electronics and La Fox plans $8.5 million expansion. They just received award from the Reimagining Energy and Vehicles, or REV program, through DCO. Well, they'll receive an estimated $8.6 million in tax credits over 20 years, while the company will retain 190 employees and create 54 new jobs. Richardson's will build upon its existing alternative energy business to develop next generation energy storage products that support electric grid stability. And I'm just breezing through this. The company's battery energy storage system technology is being developed for industries such as manufacturing, healthcare, and critical infrastructure operations. The big highlight here is in the article, they mentioned that they would like to extend their sincere thanks to some elected officials, but board member Rick Williams from the King County Board was a critical partner with DCEO in getting this done. I'm still learning more about this project as it comes out, but just an exciting win for a local Kane County community, Kane County business, and it's just something to celebrate. Thank you.
Awesome. And trivia, how many years has Richardson Electronics been around? And I don't know the answer to it, so it's a long time.
60.
Yeah, they used to do printed circuit boards, and the ones way back when where you would have to weld by hand on them. I think that's where they first started, and then they've really super grown.
Solder.
And they got a beautiful yes. Yes,
Solder.
yes, exactly.
Not welded.
Not weld, solder, you're right. And they got a beautiful
Did
campus
some of
out
those.
there. There you go.
Not there, but
Trivia. They're an international company. They travel. There's people travel all over the world, and the owner is very gives to the community too, including the Forest Reserve.
There you go. Awesome.
Good, Ed, since they had the picture up there of their campus, this is one of the few large manufacturing companies that's actually located in an unincorporated area of the county. So
Beautiful.
they will be coming through our departments for their stormwater building permits and inspection process. So it's nice to have, front to finish, hands-on.
it's kind of exciting.
All right.
Thank you. That's all.
That's all? Okay, awesome. Then. Okay.
Respond to your question. 1947.
1947, okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
It's nice that a manufacturer stays around that long.
Mhm.
And they've been able to adapt and move on as the economy has changed. And,
Mhm.
obviously from where they started to now, their whole products and everything they do have changed, but they've, still stayed in that route. So, awesome. Okay, the last thing is A, and this is just a discussion, this is about an ad hoc task force that we want to talk about governmental business policies, improvements, and basically how we can cut red tape. This spurred because, well, last month, David was talking about one of his friends who wants to move their manufacturing into Kane County or DuPage, and just how hard it is with the red tape and the things that go on. And we started thinking about that, like, we don't really know what we do to hinder people. And then 2 weeks ago, Madam Chair and Chris and I were at Hesed House in Aurora, and we got talking with Joe Jackson, who's the head of it. And he was talking about all the red tape of getting a project going, and permits and this and a grant that had to be used for exactly this and couldn't be changed and all that. So Madam Chair said, you know what, we really need to put together a committee, a task force, and just start to start with the board and get some people, not this board, but I mean, the whiteboard, and say, hey, some of you people that know, what are the problems? Because we don't really know. So that's what this is all about. Do you want to jump in?
Thank you. Yes, I really appreciate this. I don't, the businesses with, I'm going to back up. The Economic Development Organization put together a query and interviewed a number of companies throughout Kane County, which we have the report, which I am plowing through. It's a lengthy report of all the interviewees, and the consolidated responses share that there are two issues of doing business here in Illinois and of course Kane County. One we have no jurisdiction over is the tax rate for Illinois businesses, the corporate tax rate. That's something that we can advocate for, but we have no authority over because that's a state tax. The other one is permitting. And it's not just the cost of the permit, it's the expediency of getting the permit, which oftentimes is the problem. The other, we just talked about a business we have here in Kane County, but that was established in 1947. But how do we allow tax incentives? I've not seen that happen here in Kane County at all. Do we offer, I know we do TIFs for infrastructure. There's been lots of conversation about TIFs on this board more recently, and I'm sure there's going to be several more coming forward. Matter of fact, I know there are. But is that something that we will support on what the impact of that is going to be? Are we going to reduce our taxes? We'd have to look into that because that's something that is a discussion that we'd have to really decide. But primarily their main concern is how the expediting permitting, the permitting process, not necessarily the cost, but making sure that it gets done in an efficient manner. So this is something that we need to have thoughtful conversation about, work with the Economic Development Corporation to get their input from this, and talk to whether it's transportation, Tom is here, whether it's to Mark, whether it's to Mark Armstrong, on how we assess the businesses to give them an incentive, whether or not that is appropriate. How do we expedite the permitting to make sure that water, et cetera, is appropriate? And do we give them any kind of incentives to get this done? I mean, these are the things to attract businesses within. Once this study is completed, we certainly have to work with our municipalities because they have their own thing. But to say, this is what we have learned, and share it with municipalities, because what happens in Elgin is going to have positive and potentially, I'm looking positive things, will have a very positive impact upon Carpentersville or Pingree Grove. The wealth of that manufacturing facility or that development will continue on to other municipalities as well in other areas. So this is something to investigate, and hopefully we have good minds moving forward, just to put down some pretty succinct research points.
Okay, any thoughts or ideas? David?
David Young. This is way out of out of my area of expertise, but as a thought, what counties are doing this successfully, and what strategies do they implement, which would be the tax incentives that you're talking about? And I don't know who that would be, but maybe it's even out of state, right? I mean, hey, and then contact some of these other counties that are in Florida or wherever, if they're attracting all of these technology companies or wherever it is. And then you can get some ideas from them.
Great idea.
I think that's a great idea. So did you volunteer to be on the committee?
No.
I already wrote your name down. All right. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? And
I think it's important we move forward on that.
Yeah, good idea.
and then we'll brainstorm about how this is gonna look and who's gonna, But I just wanted to make sure you guys knew,
I would, I think Mr. Pennis has brought forward, Ted, I would like to volunteer you if you're interested in pursuing this, because you did bring forward an opportunity of increasing the cost of our permits. So obviously you have some knowledge of this, so maybe you would like to join on this, just again, this little ad hoc committee that we would be forming.
Be happy to.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thanks for volunteering. All right. There'll be more on this. Let's talk about the Office of Community Reinvestment. I don't believe they have a report. And I believe, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I think we're reevaluating what reports need to be presented here and how that's going to look going forward. Is that? Put you on the spot,
Sure. So yeah, that'd be my recommendation. The whole transition is still, a work in progress, and as we're just keeping things moving, a lot of detail, sort of downstream of those changes, including changing the name and changing the website and those types of things. But I think the opportunity with the Workforce Development Department, really just addressing the 3 county programs that they work on. I think that's a good idea to reevaluate what needs to go to the Workforce Development Board, what things come here. I think what would be nice for in coordinating that would be to be able to highlight, bring into the daylight, allow the good work that the Workforce Development Department team does for Kane County residents, for Kane County businesses. And I hope to do that with both programs, that the county board and the public and community have a better understanding of what good work has been done and what kind of impacts it has. Kind of like the IMAC report with some solid numbers. Here's the number of people served and helped, and every individual stat is a life, is a family, is a career. So but we gotta keep things going first.
Yeah, no, I know we're in the process of hiring some real key individuals. And I think we're out of the woods with the state. They're happy with the progress we're making. They're happy with the direction we're doing. And now we just have to get it done. But I do want to make sure that because of the WIOA board and everything, I want to make sure that if there's some reports that we are supposed to be seeing and things like that, that we make sure we get that back on board.
I think one thing, Chris and I can work with their team and with the committee, because they have so much data.
Yes.
Are there any things that are particularly of interest to the Jobs Committee to, inform the work and the projects that
And
we're
we can
doing?
take that offline, but first I want to make sure along with that if they're supposed to be giving us financials, that we get those, going forward.
Accountability.
So I just wanted, because it's like, well, this always came to Jobs, but I don't know that it would had to or it didn't. So I can look through some of those WIOA, policies and procedures and see what they actually say, from the state point of view, what we're
Certainly.
supposed to be looking at. So, yeah.
If I may, I would suggest that financial reports this committee should be aware of, but they should go through Finance Committee, because Kathleen Hopkinson is working directly with them, as well as Paul Kofer with the grants. To keep that on task.
Possibly, but like I said, I want to look at the WIOA statutes to see what they actually say. Yeah, and I'll do that before our next meeting. All right,
Madam Chair,
yes,
Alan, anytime you're getting money from other entities, the most important thing, of course, is to be able to account to those entities how you spent the money and that they're comfortable with that. And that's not really something that comes under our purview very much because that's just satisfying federal and state regulations. But what we have seen is long, long lists for years of where that money goes out to. Programs at colleges, programs at trade schools, and so on. I think it would be interesting if at some point we're able to do it, to kind of take those reports and say, well, okay, there's money going to programs to these colleges. There's money going to programs at these, so that we don't have to read 3,000 entries. Money is going to these trade schools. And then if we could have some information about who we're actually touching. I don't know that we've ever had that before, and I don't know how easy it is to bring that together. But it would be, like you just mentioned, we're touching people and families. And it would be, if we could get that a little bit into the weeds, just to know how that's working, I think that would be helpful to the committee. I don't want to just speak for myself. Is that true? Is that what the committee
No,
would like?
absolutely. It's important. And I think it's kind of what Mark was saying, to highlight, like, these are lives we're changing,
Yeah,
you know, and stories. And over the years, I've heard a lot of really great stories about, you know, people and especially that workforce development group over there, how they've had to go out and, you know, replace a tire for somebody so that they could get to work on time. Or, you know, they've had to, there's a lot more goes into it than just, here's a job, go find it, you know? So they do a good job over there. And, unfortunately, because of all the circumstances, we've kind of let a negative light on everything that has been done there. But there's a lot of good people there that work really, really hard. And there is a lot of good things that have been happening there and will continue to happen. So I think we're all on the right track. We'll just nail it down. All right. If there's no more discussion on that, oh, go ahead.
Perhaps we should also update this committee to let them know that there's going to be an extraordinary partnership on that corner of Main Street and it's not, it's Main Street where the office is, Main Street and
Next to by the workforce development offices. We're
it's
just
on
going
Main
there.
Street in Batavia. It's right off of Main Street.
Yeah, Water Street.
Water Street, there you go. Thank you.
Yes.
What's that intersection? What's the name of that art gallery? Because that's what it's named out of. It's going to be workforce development, which we already have. And then on the top floor, there's going to be 2 offices and use of a small conference room that's adjacent to those offices for DCEO, and have 2 offices there. And then right next door, literally right next door, shared wall, will be the Office of Economic, the EDO is going to be there as well. So you can go in, new business, you can find land and find out where you'd like to have your business. And what's opportunities are available, then you can go make an appointment, go upstairs to the 2nd floor, talk to DCEO to find out what state grants are available for you, what assistance they can give to you. And then you can go downstairs and start looking for your workforce to supply the staff that you need to run your business all in one area. So it's going to be an economic powerhouse. Very excited about when this all opens up. The EDO is going to be taking possession of the office probably this fall, as very soft opening and a bigger opening early next year. And DCEO should be moving in October. So it's a wonderful opportunity for true economic development here in Kane.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And DCEO is renting those offices from us. So nothing's free with us. I also.
No, they're not,
since-
they're not going to be renting.
They're not renting?
No, we can't. No,
Oh,
We're
okay.
just providing space
Okay.
that is available.
Okay. All right. I know we had a contract. Okay. Thanks for the correction. I also want to mention while we're on this, that the last Tuesday of this month, there'll be a big ribbon cutting. We're installing the first of these kiosks. I think you remember that we got this $167,000 grant through WIOA we had for economic development. So we were doing these kiosks for, you can go in and you can look for your jobs, and we're putting them out in the community. because not everybody can, run up to Batavia. And so we're putting these kiosks out in the community where they can log on and, look for jobs, look for careers, look for things, and then they'll hook back into ours. So the first ribbon cutting is going to be at the Quad County Urban League on Farnsworth and Aurora. And we'll get the invitations or get the information to you guys, anybody who wants to come and see it. And we're going to make kind of a big deal about it.
Yes, exciting time.
So get the information to you. Other than that, is there any other new business? Ms. Bates?
Thank you very much. I am interested in requesting, I don't know who to ask for this. I would like King County to have a study of data centers in Illinois and King County. What is their impact on energy and water demand? We just had a great talk in E&E about water. I would like to feel that we have a plan for where and when and how many is beneficial, how big, how much water they're going to use, how much energy they need, and what are the benefits to King County and the risks.
Yeah, the city of Batavia, right?
Microphone, please.
Microphone.
If you've been following the Batavia, I think they probably have an awful lot already that you could.
Take a look at, yes. They just did water restriction.
I don't want to do the study. I would like to ask someone in King County to do the study who would be more of an expert than I would be.
I think probably through our Chicago thing, we could probably get the data on how many data centers there are in Illinois and probably our county.
Things like how people say, well, we get taxes. How much do they pay in taxes? Is it really a benefit to us, or is it more of a detriment? And as Mr. Young brought up in our E&E meeting, your electric bills have gone up 50%. The average home is going to go up about that much. And we believe it's because of the AI and data centers. So what's the risk? What's the benefit? I'd just like to know.
I think we can start by finding out how many we have.
How many do we
We
have?
can work with GSAP. I want to say GCamp now.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking too, the Chicago people.
GSAP on some of the research, and if they've done a paper on that with data centers, or the state, because the state's been working hard to incentivize data centers in Illinois.
I know we want them, but what are the risks? What are the risks? What are the pros and the cons? So,
And he's right.
do you
Those-
mind?
Well, I mean,
You
I'll just be frank. Those are bigger questions than either Chris or I could respond to, on a county level. And it's a complex issue because the siting and approvals for data centers happen at the municipal level because they do need the infrastructure.
Right.
And a lot of the answers to those questions, what are the impact, depend on, what is the actual size of the data center? What are they projecting? What are the technologies they're going to be using? Are they using a water-based cooling system or a non-water-based cooling system? So there's a lot of variables that if somebody came in with a proposal to a municipality like Batavia is going through right now to look at, what those impacts are. And
Are they coming into the unincorporated too, or just
We-
into
we have not
municipalities?
had any proposals for a data center that would be
So they're
coming through the
outside of our
county board.
jurisdiction. Aurora is doing a study right now like
Aurora
this.
already has some. But in the DuPage side.
They're doing a study right now, a moratorium on data centers to study the effects, just to understand how should we be zoning these, or what are the impact?
Yeah.
But we're not having any in the unincorporated areas.
No, because we don't have typically there's not the infrastructure available to
Oh.
support.
Okay.
But I think
So-
this committee, we can find out how many data centers there are in Illinois and then in this county, how many, I mean, they're not real job creators, but we can find out from the economic side what's going on. as far as from the environmental side, you probably have more access to the studies that Aurora is doing than anybody here. And we can probably also see what we can glean from Batavia on that side, because Batavia is right. Every day in the paper, there's something about what's going on in Batavia. So,
They just passed water use, restriction of water use for the
Mhm.
data center yesterday. I believe it was yesterday.
Me,
Yesterday, the city council of Batavia just passed a restriction on how much water the data center can use.
okay. All right, so we're not gonna, nobody's gonna knock on our door, we don't think, for a data center in unincorporated.
They haven't to date.
Okay. All right, never mind.
all right, Mr. Young,
I
Mr. Young, and then
that was-
Ms. Allen, and then Mr. Roth.
I thought that was a great question. I was just thinking about the Fab Tech show when I was at Fab Tech. They have all these booths. And I go to trade shows probably 4 or 5 times a year. And sometimes you have states setting up booths at these trade shows.
Mhm.
Well, why not, maybe what if King County would set up a booth, their own booth at Fab Tech, or Pack Expo is next year, specifically for the trade show, maybe that's actually at McCormick.
Mhm.
You have IMTS, and also you have Pack Expo coming up a year from now. And you could highlight the just the benefits of King County. I'm just thinking out loud, would that, I don't know if that would help attract prospects to move, or just actually to be interested in King County. So the states actually go to these trade shows all the time. So I don't know if we could do a booth there or not. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. Just thought I'd bring
Sure.
that up.
So that's certainly one of the parts of the strategy for the new Economic Development Corporation. But not only, for just singularly Kane County, which would certainly be an option to do so, but in order to help, with the regional effort, that's one of the things that our membership with GSAP is looking at, particularly with international travel or other, things, how to combine our resources, have a presence, that promotes the region, promotes Kane County.
Okay.
But that certainly, if you have particular shows that you think would be effective for Kane County, I'll let Chris. John Gruen's net-
IMTS
John
and
Gruen's
Pack
net with us.
Expo.
Okay.
I mean, the International Machine Tool Show and Pack Expo, those are the 2 biggest shows.
Can you send an email to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send you guys an email.
We'll share that with John Grueling and right now they're, going to be developing what that
Yeah.
outreach and presence looks
Well,
like.
it's a year from now, so we have time to, think about it.
No, I
So
think it's a good idea. I love those shows. I used to learn so much at them.
And you're going to have international companies that are there,
Mhm.
right? And I'm thinking of, for whatever reason, all of the Japanese machine tool guys are in Schaumburg, and they started there,
I know.
and they just kept on expanding. And it's so if you ever go out to dinner in Schaumburg, there's tons of Japanese people there, obviously, because they live there. They do. So, but why not create something like that here in King County? I don't know what that would be, but maybe it's packaging.
Yeah, no,
Just an idea.
no, I think it's a good idea. We could have our Elk Grove Village here. Miss Allen,
And my comment fits right into that, I think. Elgin's development group, has, I think everybody got one of these in their mailbox. And it's, gorgeous pictures, of course, but it also is just a whole compendium of data. Like for municipalities, talking about who it is who lives there, median incomes, how many kids in the schools, how many firefighters, and so on. And I don't know how expensive it is to do something like this, but I would hope that somewhere in our future, we will have a glossy, lovely brochure that looks like this with that kind of statistic about us that we can pass out to people. Do you recognize this as something that you see every couple of years or something?
Yes, yeah, we get a copy of that, especially with our partnership with EDG.
I would think so. Anyway, it's
yeah, Elgin did one and Aurora did one recently too.
Thank you. It's in the works. It'll be in the works.
yeah, it just makes you kind of proud.
Mr.
That's
Roth,
it. Thank you.
thank you.
I have three things. The third one is maybe. Last year we were doing monthly unemployment at the national, state, and then I had asked that we also do it at the county. And we haven't been doing that lately. I know we're looking for the future, but we also need to be aware of what's going on. Before the meeting, I looked up. We're actually pretty good. As of July, because they don't have August for state or county. Kane was 4.4, Illinois is 4.6, and national's 4.2. Full employment is what, 4? Approximately. So we're pretty close to that. Yeah. And the problem with full employment, that causes inflation and also a lot of unjust. But I would recommend that we start kind of as a dashboard do that. But the other part of that is drilling down, because a lot of people aren't aware there's actually 8 unemployment numbers, right? E1, E2, E3. And a lot of people don't know the definitions of those. And politicians will tend to use the one that make them look good and not, like, I think one of them is at E7 or E8 is people that have given up looking for jobs. So that's a scary one. So I would just recommend we get back to that. Okay. The second thing was related to what Mavis said, and that's the data center and water usage. And why you don't claim it, there's a big overlap. One is economic, but the other in environmental. We were talking about water. Well, if they're using up all our water, it's going to get real salty water for us, right? No. And also electric, the forecast is electric demand is growing by 30% just to cover AI data centers. So where the state was a surplus exporter of energy, we're now going to have to start importing. And renewable won't be able to fill that gap, unfortunately.
It's the fastest and cheapest right now.
I know, but that 30% isn't going to be able to, we won't be able to fill that.
But
So-
as of the moment, none of them are coming to
We have
what we can control. So, but it's good information.
But we need to do the research.
Yeah.
There was a front page article in yesterday's Trib about the water shortage because the Midwest has the most water of anyone else in the country.
In the world.
Yeah. Well, in the US at least too. And if we use it all up on
Environmental's
data
over
centers.
now, come on.
Yeah, I know.
3.
All right.
I gave her more minutes anyway.
I know,
so
I know.
it's-
And I'll leave off the third one because it doesn't really fit in jobs.
And if you want to, which is fine.
Well, it's regarding our solar fields and stuff. We're catching, the fly by night developers that are coming in, they're from out of state. I'm thinking, and it's kind of related to zoning, we need to tighten up our zoning on what we are going to recommend. Like the one issue, one guy says, I'm going to put a tree every 30 feet, which is a realistic, and it's like zoning law rules like we have for water, we have very strict rules to make sure. And there again, if they're written, I think they have to, and we need to be consistent across. The example of our solar field, one of the things, was built on the debris from the construction. So the soil is terrible. It's like when you're doing home construction, you got to take away all the black dirt and then you put a certain amount in. That should be part of that zoning too, because if you don't put any black dirt back, you're not going to grow anything. And that's the issue we have it grows weeds very well. But
So actually, I'm really glad you asked that question. If you look at your published agenda for the Development Committee meeting next Tuesday at
Okay.
10:30, includes a very detailed presentation that our zoning planner,
Okay.
Natalie Zine, put together.
Right.
It's under new business, so I don't know, depending on the length of the meeting, if the committee will get to it, but at least the committee and any board member, interested can look at that packet, begin to give input on the landscape buffer issue
Right,
in
right.
particular.
because
So-
we've been in react mode the last 2 years for solar, and I think we need to get proactive and lead. We could lead the country in that if we do it right.
All right. Well, that was a good segue to next week.
Yes, it was.
If
And
we
I
don't
knew
have-
that. No, just kidding.
No, I know you're good. If we don't have anything else, I do need a motion to place the reports on file.
Bates would ask for unanimous consent to place reports on file.
Nobody's objecting? So be it. No executive session. Sorry, guys. And last but not least, motion to adjourn, please.
Bates moves to adjourn.
We have 4 minutes.
As I saw it. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much, guys. This was an awesome meeting. Thoroughly enjoyed it.